You keep seeing it, the same snake in the same spot. Day after day curled up near your porch steps, tucked against the foundation, or stretched out on the warm concrete in the afternoon sun. It's not passing through, it's coming back, again and again. So what is it actually doing? And why your porch, specifically? The honest answer isn't mysterious, but it is more interesting than most people expect. A snake doesn't return to the same location by accident, and it's definitely not because it likes you or your house in any emotional sense. It's coming back because your porch has quietly become one of the best real estate options in its entire territory. And once a snake finds a location like that, it will use it again and again until something forces it to leave. Let's start with the most common reason: temperature regulation. Snakes are ectothermic, meaning they can't generate their own body heat. They rely entirely on their environment to warm up or cool down. Concrete, stone, and pavement absorb heat during the day and release it slowly, which makes porches, sidewalks, and foundations some of the most efficient heat sources a snake can find in a suburban environment. In the early morning or late afternoon, when the surrounding ground is still cool, a sun-warmed porch slab can be several degrees warmer than the grass just a few feet away. For a snake, that temperature difference matters enormously. It's the difference between sluggish and fully functional. So if your porch faces the right direction and gets consistent sun, you've essentially built the snake equivalent of a 5-star heating system. And it would be strange for the snake not to use it. But temperature is only part of the story. The second major reason is shelter. Most porches have small gaps, cracks, or voids underneath, spaces between the foundation and the ground, gaps around steps, or hollow spots beneath decking. These small, dark, enclosed spaces are exactly what a snake looks for when it needs to hide from predators, escape extreme heat or cold, or simply feel secure while digesting a meal. Unlike open yards or garden beds, a porch void offers protection on nearly every side, with only 1 or 2 entry points to defend. From a snake's perspective, this isn't just convenient, it's close to ideal. Once a snake identifies a shelter spot like this, it will typically return to it repeatedly, sometimes for an entire season, because finding an equally good replacement elsewhere takes time and energy it would rather not spend. The third reason is arguably the most important, and it's the one most homeowners don't think about: food. Snakes don't return to a location for the location itself. They return because that location reliably produces something to eat. Porches and the areas around them often attract small rodents, insects, and even amphibians, especially if there's an exterior light left on at night. Outdoor lighting draws moths and other insects. Insects draw spiders and small lizards, and all of that activity draws mice. Mice, in turn, are one of the most common prey items for many snake species found in residential areas. In other words, your porch light might be running its own tiny food chain every night. And the snake showing up again and again isn't interested in your porch. It's interested in the pantry your porch has accidentally created. This is also why the snake doesn't seem afraid of you the way you might expect. It's not that it has learned to trust you personally, and it's not tracking your movements out of curiosity. It's simply weighing risk against reward. If a location consistently provides food, shelter, and warmth, a snake will tolerate a certain amount of disturbance, including the presence of humans, as long as the disturbance doesn't escalate into an actual threat. The first few times it saw you, it likely fled or froze. Over repeated encounters where nothing dangerous happened, its defensive response naturally decreased. That's not trust in any emotional sense. It's habituation, a well-documented behavioral pattern seen across almost all wild animals that live in proximity to humans. So what species are we usually talking about here? In most parts of the United States, the snake repeatedly showing up around a porch is likely to be a garter snake, a rat snake, or in some regions, a copperhead, particularly if the home backs up to woods, fields, or a water source. Garter snakes are especially common because they thrive on the exact combination of insects, small prey, and hiding spots that porches and gardens provide. Rat snakes are drawn in by rodent activity, especially near garages, sheds, or crawl spaces. Copperheads, while less common overall, are known for their patience and tendency to stay motionless near a productive ambush site for extended periods, which is part of why people often report seeing the same snake in almost the exact same spot for days. Now here's the part that matters most. What should you actually do about it? The answer isn't to panic. And it's usually not necessary to kill or relocate the snake, since most native species are harmless and even beneficial, helping control rodent and insect populations around your home. Instead, the more effective long-term solution is to remove the reasons it's coming back in the first place. Sealing gaps and cracks around the foundation reduces available shelter. Turning off unnecessary exterior lighting at night reduces the insect activity that draws in prey. Keeping grass trimmed and woodpiles or debris away from the house removes cover that both snakes and their prey rely on, in most cases. Addressing these three factors, heat, shelter, and food, will naturally reduce snake activity around your porch far more effectively than trying to chase away or relocate the snake itself, which often just gets replaced by another individual moving into the same, still attractive spot. It's also worth remembering that a snake returning to your porch is, in its own way, a sign that your yard's ecosystem is functioning. Insects, small rodents, moisture, and shelter all exist in a balance, and the snake is simply the most visible part of that chain. Understanding why it keeps coming back rather than assuming it's targeting you personally changes the entire interaction. It's not watching you. It's not choosing you emotionally. It's responding the same way every wild animal does to warmth, safety, and the promise of a meal. So the next time you see that same snake curled up near your steps, you'll know exactly what it's actually doing and exactly what to change if you'd rather it stopped.